Welcome back to the Best Small Business Show.
We are all fired up today, Rich.
Oh, I'm fired. I'm fired up. I'm excited. It's Monday. Oh, I'm crazy. It's kind of funny. We've spent the last few episodes deep diving into inbound marketing and social media strategies.
That's because that's what I like to talk about.
Yes.
Come on. And you know what? And those are great. And I like it. But let's be brutally honest.
Yeah, it's making a lot of entrepreneurs soft. They get lazy.
Agreed.
They laid back. Well, I'll just do my social media post and I'm done. That's it.
Yep.
Okay, ready to move on.
It's kind of like a bricks and mortar, opening up the door and you think that's all that you have to do. And
Yeah.
people will walk in. But you know what? If you just rely on inbound, you're waiting for the phone to ring. Oh my gosh, that's not a survival technique.
Yeah, you need to go out. It's called hunting. Okay, you have to go out and hunt. And the pain point's simple. Too many business owners are, frankly, they're terrified of interrupting a stranger's day to close a critical B2B deal, something that they probably need. And you're just afraid to reach out to them.
And I don't know if it's just that people don't use the phone anymore.
Yeah.
Like they just are, definitely, Gen Z, they're just don't use a phone, don't communicate that way. But, the positive news is mastering modern outbound sales cuts right through the noise.
Yeah.
You literally will be unique.
Yeah. And here's the funny thing. You don't have to sound desperate. We're going to show you ways not to sound desperate, but you just need to be professional. You have to put it in the back of your head that you are providing a critical service or product that they really need, or they don't even realize they need. And this quick phone call, not a half an hour, 45 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, can change their life.
Right. And you know what? Just set the scene for us, Rich, because why is the cold call still breathing? Like, why is it even something that we're talking about today?
Because you could tear down all the social media and all the phones and the texting and the Slack and everything. Business is still what we call H2H, which is human to human. If you pare it all down, it's a human speaking to a human.
Yeah. But you know what? With all the anti-spam era going on right now, that just means you can't dial and pray anymore. You got to get in there and understand the company that you are about to reach. That cold call has to be a warm call. You can't just like sit around thinking, oh, I'm just going to pick up the phone call. No, what are the connections? Why is this call good for your business? Not them. Why is it good for your business?
Exactly. The mind shift is that you're an equal. Right. You're not begging. You're not like Oliver Twist going, oh, please, sir, buy my product. You're bringing a high level solution to the table. Again, the key word is solution. You're solving their problem that they don't even realize they probably have.
Yeah, Rich and I were talking before we got going, and I said, it's a lot of times when I go to an event and I'll have a friend who says, you know what, my friend Sally, she really needs to work with you. Oh my gosh, give her a call. Tell her I told you to call her because, wow, you really need it. And that authentic authority that you give to that phone call when you make it is completely different. You're not begging for their time. You're about to start a relationship and begin that build trust situation. You got to get it out of your mindset that it's an interruption.
Yeah, the words I use is don't use the words bother. I don't want to bother them. I don't want to pester them. I don't want to interrupt them. In fact, BJ, you're absolutely right. Using a friend and you making the call going, I'm a really good friend of Tom's, and he and I were having lunch the other day, and he mentioned you and said, you and I absolutely need to have coffee. So I promised him that I'd give you a call. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, that
totally
changes the
different conversation.
whole tenor of the conversation. So today we're going to break down 4 bulletproof. They're always bulletproof. These are bulletproof. And you know what? Just
Yeah,
try one of them. These are
Rich, that's
4.
your next book.
Yes,
Bullet.
bulletproof. The 4 bulletproof outbound tactics to revive your sales pipeline today, or at least increase it.
Yeah,
So,
and I'm going to go with tactic number 1, the pattern interrupt. Okay, I I feel that this is, of all the 4, this is the strongest that you can do.
yeah, it's the absolute worst thing you could say is, "Hi, how are you today?"
Click, dial
Click.
tone. You
Yeah.
instantly sound like a telemarketer.
Well,
Oh
it,
my God.
it's it's just like when people call or you call a friend and you go, "Have I caught you at a bad time?" They're always going to say, "Yes, it's a bad time. Can we talk some other time?" They're always going to say that.
I know. And you know what? You don't have that long.
Yeah,
How long do you think you have?
3 seconds to prove that you're not AI or spam.
I
I
know.
actually asked someone that I called back. I called their phone number, and the way the receptionist was talking, I asked her, I go, "Are you AI?" And she
Oh
goes, "No,
no.
I'm not." And she goes, "No, I'm not." I went, "Oh, I'm sorry." I was like, "Oh my gosh, hello? This is blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "This has to be AI." So,
I love it. But you know what? You got to embrace that the disruption, you know? State clearly who you are immediately.
yeah.
Don't like leave that halfway through a sentence. Say who you are right away.
Yeah, try something like, "I know I'm catching you out of the blue, but I'm calling because I had lunch with Tom and he absolutely said you and I need to talk."
Yeah. And I find when you're making that phone call, being able to say, "Hey Carol, I was just having lunch with Tom. W- it was a hilarious conversation and he had said you really want to, we should hook up and talk about what you're working on."
Yeah,
Totally different conversation.
it is. And when I do it, I regularly reach out and I find that I have a higher close rate if I do something like that. If I bring
I
a,
know.
a mutual friend, or we're in the same building, or we're in the same neighborhood, or I just thought I'd
Right.
give you a call, or I drive past your location every day because I'm right up the street. Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Oh my God. And a lot of times if I'm at like a chamber event and there's a group of people who I don't get to, I jot those down. I mean, in the car, I literally jot them down right away.
Yeah.
And I do this technique. Hey, I saw you at the chamber event, and I'm so sorry I never got to you. You were talking to a bunch of people. I saw you talking to Tom, and I'd really, really would love to kind of get together and hear more about what you're doing.
I saw you and you kept running away from me.
Why was that?
Yeah. Why did you run away from me?
I don't
Ah,
want to make that the action step, though.
no.
The action step is audit your script today. Cross out all those general pleasantries and replace them with very confident, transparent opening, and you will see success.
Yeah, if you put a little bit of work into it, like a common friend, or you're right down the street, or hey, I,
Organization.
I just saw you guys just opened a new location, or you just hired. I worked with a bank a number of years ago, and I
Mhm.
just saw that they got a brand new CEO. Guess who's going to be calling that new CEO to introduce himself? Me.
Yes,
I,
because we
I'm
have no
just,
fear. We
we
have
have
no
no
fear.
fear. Yeah.
We have no fear. We have to, when we talk about tactic number 2, I'm
Yeah.
just saying, we have no fear.
Well, tactic 2 is the hyper personalized hook.
Yes.
This is so
And
important.
And you're not calling a list. It's not like you're calling, 50 people. You're calling them.
Yeah, that's so important. You're not that insurance person that has to make 150 phone calls a day.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
You have to make it important. If you can't articulate exactly why you chose to dial their specific number, please hang up. Don't make the call until you are ready to articulate why you're calling them.
Exactly. Call out a recent company merger, a new product launch, a known industry bottleneck. Those are all things that say you did some research
Yeah.
into them. You care about them, right?
Yeah.
Like for instance, oh, I see you just moved that small competitor. I've been really thinking about modifying some of your sales materials and website and PR. I'd love to be able to talk to you about that.
Yeah, this reminds me of a Wall Street Journal article. It's very old. It's probably like 20 years old. It's
Oh
called
my.
the King of Cold Calls. And
Mm.
the reporter followed around this guy who his service was collection agent for law firms. And all he
Okay,
did was
very specific.
he'd walk up to a building and see, ooh, there's a law firm in this building. And then he'd, go up in the elevator to the 30th floor, come out, go to the receptionist and go, hi, my name's, introduce himself. He goes, I'd like to speak to the chief financial officer. And the guy would come out. He'd say, hi, I can save you. I can save you, 30% on your accounts receivable immediately. And the CFO would go, okay, come to my office. Because we all know law firms have a tremendous backlog of AR. But
Yeah.
he cut right to the chase, and the reporter followed him, and he made a sale, just made a sale by just cold calling. So
No, I know. And, I feel like things like that, you gotta be confident.
yeah, believe in your service because it proves that you did your homework. It earns you the next 30 seconds. Okay. They've already given you 30 seconds. Now you have to prove that you can solve their problem because that's really what work is solving problems.
And a great action step for this, and I use this all the time, is before you even dial, find one trigger event on their LinkedIn or company news page and use it as your anchor.
Yep.
That is going to give you credibility immediately right out of the gate. And they are going to feel like, oh, I can talk about that.
Well, it's time for our promo break. This podcast is sponsored by New Renew Brand Marketing, a full service agency building strong brands with clarity and vision. Their clients are reaching their potential with innovative messaging, results driven AI research and analytics, with their audiences front and center. And they probably also suggest cold calling. So reach out to BJ Flagg at newrenew.com today.
Yes, we do. And are you building your business, or is your business building a ceiling? Rich G delivers the hard truths and bulletproof strategies that will help your small business grow 20 to 25% each year. And that's a fact BJ Flagg knows. Stop letting your own hustle become your biggest bottleneck. Uncover your performance ceiling score with a free 60-second quiz at richg.com today. It is a great score. You got to get in there. You got to get doing it.
Well, let's get back into it. BJ, what's our third tactic?
It is the disqualification mindset. Ooch, this hurts.
Yeah, desperation is a massive red flag in B2B sales. And we mentioned it before, you can't be desperate.
Yeah. And you want to sound accomplished and confident. And just like Dwight from The Office, you need to practice a little before you get in there to get your head on right.
So give the prospect a psychological out. So what do we mean by that?
Well, you know what? Say something like, I'm not sure if this is a fit for you right now, but, and
Y-
that gives them a little bit of thinking time.
Yeah, it immediately lowers their defensive shields. You're not going in for the hard sell. Yeah, you need 50 of these. You aren't forcing a square peg into a round hole. And here's the best part, it makes you sound selective and not desperate. You're going, well, I don't really know if this is the right fit for your business, or,
Yeah.
especially if you're talking to them and you offer a higher level. Well, we have this VIP service, but I really don't know if it's a good fit for you right now. And suddenly people's ears perk up and they're like, oh, what's that VIP service? Please tell
I
me
got to
about
know
that.
about that.
Yeah.
I have to know about that. A great action step is to record your next 5 practice calls. Okay. And if your tone sounds like you need the deal, slow it down, slow down your countenance and lower your pitch.
Yeah.
That those two things tend to cause a lot of problems. How you're handling your voice and such. So
Perfect. Well, tactic number 4 is what we call the frictionless ask. BJ, tell us about the frictionless ask.
thank you. The biggest mistake is asking for a 45-minute demo on a cold call. Stop it. Don't
Yeah.
ever do it. Oh my God.
Nobody
Would you
has
ever sit
45
through that?
minutes.
Would you sit
No,
through that? No.
no. And especially I always tell everyone, like, can I grab 2 to 3 minutes of your time? Because if you go, yeah, I'd like to see if I could just grab you for a call. Immediately people's heads go to 45 minutes. I can't
Yeah.
afford that. I can afford 2 to 3 minutes. And 45 minutes is way too heavy. You haven't
Right.
earned that time with that prospect yet.
Yeah. One of the big things we talk about a lot, because obviously we're into the analytics of things, is the conversion path.
Yeah.
And when you ask for something like 45 minutes, you have leapfrogged on the
Yeah.
conversion path. You haven't created um, any relationship, any trust. You haven't really even explained who you are. You really haven't done yourself any good service. But what you're trying to do is trying to sell the next 5 minutes,
Yeah.
right? So that initial thing, all that hard work you did to make that one phone call is going to pay off because you're relaxed, you're giving them a comfort level to have a discussion, and they say, hey, listen, I've talked long enough, let me go, but I definitely want to have lunch with you and Tom.
Yeah, and this is the time where you ask for permission. Ask a permission
Yeah,
question to share a highly relevant asset.
right.
Something
And
like,
like, how about like send over a 1-page breakdown of how they've solved this problem for a competitor?
yeah,
So you've got a little advanced knowledge on them. You know they need it. Create the quick 1-pager and say, hey, listen, you know what? I've got a 1-pager I created. Let me send that over. It's something we did for so and so's competitor.
yeah,
Oh my
because
God, they're so happy.
they don't have it. They don't have that 1 page breakdown. And suddenly they're like, yeah, I'd love to see that. And what it does is it brings the conversation forward. You go, you know what? They go, yeah, I'd love to see that. You go, wonderful. Let me send this over to you. And why don't you check it out this week? And I'll give you a call. How does Thursday look at 2? I'll follow up. How does 2? It immediately set something up. So the action step is create a low commitment, high value transition asset to the offer at the very end of the call. Kind of like the ceiling performance score quiz that BJ just said to offer. That's something, it's like 60 seconds of your time,
I
and
know.
people will learn more about their business.
He lured me into it. And I am got to tell you, it was fantastic. And I totally wanted to know more. Like that. And this is like, I've worked with Rich forever. Great job on that. But hey, let's wrap it up. Cold calling is absolutely alive and well in 2026.
Yeah, if your script is sharp and your tone is authentic and your approach is fearless, you will dominate each call.
You want better people, better business, and better life. And a new podcast logo and intro music. Yes, I hope you like them.
Yeah, we've been hard at work. We just hit 450 episodes, so we needed to change something. We had to change
We
something out
did.
there.
And the biggest thanks goes out to our producer,
Yeah.
Richard Scalzo, for making us sound so great and creating these amazing things.
And thank you for tuning in to 450 episodes of the best small business show.